I think making it into the NCAA tournament is an expectation, not a hope. You don't come to Wisconsin to not win the national championship. So my name is Vince, and I'm a student manager for the women's volleyball team here at the University of Wisconsin. There's no job too big or too small for us on what we do here. On game days, we help in warm-ups and make sure that everything runs smoothly. We set up practices. Basically, our big kind of goal for the managers is to go unnoticed, make sure that everything's kind of planned accordingly and run accordingly. So, as for prior experiences, I started volleyball in high school, loved it. I managed my high school team in high school, the girls team, and it was a great experience. And so when I came to Wisconsin, I knew that would be an avenue that I'd like to take. And it was a long process getting in it. I had a lot of interviews and had to beat out some people, but ultimately it was a really rewarding experience. Just working with them really kind of refines what athletics is. In high school, it's very low-key kind of sports. You kind of do your best. You have your JV, your varsity. I think working with such a great program like Wisconsin, you kind of see how goals are achieved, what people really want out of their experience. And our girls work really hard to achieve what they have. And I think not a lot of people have that. So I think that's probably working with them that I've kind of appreciated the most is their work ethic. So our coaching staff has been here for 10 years, or 11 years now actually, and they kind of grew the program to where it is today. And I think just the mindset that they have is really crucial to our success. Every day, we talk about championship mindset. We hold that to a very high standard, and our superiors know that. That's what they teach, and I think our girls respect it very highly, and I think that's why we're successful year in and year out. I mean, we had the best year ever this past season. The transfer portal has played a huge role into how teams have their success. I feel like when we had COVID-19, everyone got an extra year of eligibility. And so with that, a lot of players took their talents elsewhere. And Sarah Franklin, our National Player of the Year, Carter Booth, we have a new girl named Carly who's a transfer. So I feel like just the transfer portal is a reason why after the national championship, we were still as good as we were. As for not winning the national championship in 2022, that it's a mixture of a lot of things. I mean, it was a 15-13 set 5 loss to Pittsburgh. It comes down to every little thing. I mean, it's just a matter of who you face, really. I mean, this year in the Final Four, you had Texas, who no one picked winning, and yet they just went off. The one thing that was incredible about this season was the records broken. We held 4 attendance records this year, Badger Volleyball at different venues. We held a TV record against Minnesota on the first game ever streamed on Fox. As for Nebraska as well, they had Volleyball Day in Nebraska where they sold out a football stadium in August. 3 years ago, that could have never happened. The one thing I love about our team is it's so small. I feel like men's football, you have 100 players. We only have 14 girls. And so I feel like just seeing how they interact every day and how they trust each other. And I've played men's volleyball, and I know a big difference between women's volleyball and men's volleyball is that women love to come together, support one another, really be a team. I feel like men's volleyball, it's more frustration if mistakes happen, not being the best teammate. Personally, I think just being around this program has inspired me so much and has made me love women's sports even more than I did prior. I think it's incredible, and giving them that spotlight. I think a lot of programs don't have it as good as we do, and I think it's really important to understand that and keep growing the game. People's perception of women's sports are changing. People are understanding that it's kind of a big deal to be a woman in athletics. I think people just want something new, something fresh, and I think volleyball has been around for a long time, but I think it's just such an exciting game, such a great viewing sport. There's not a lot of standing around, there's a lot of physicality, and I think a lot of people love that about the sport. All the programs are making a stride to grow the game, be bigger, be better, and I think it will only continue to get higher as we continue